morning and welcome to the roundtable. My name is Issa Nu. Today we are going to be looking at more or less like a review of what happened on Saturday. That was the 1st of October. And as you know, Nigeria is the most populous nation of West Africa, being home to more than 200 million people. It has a rich history, and Independence Day celebrates the country breaking from the British colonial rule. Nigeria was first colonized by the British and Portuguese in the late 15th century. These empires used ports of Nigeria for trade of goods as well as trading of people as part of the transatlantic slave trade. Lagos was first invaded by the British in 1851 before being annexed in 1865. In 1901, Nigeria became a British protectorate, meaning that it was officially under the ownership of the British Empire, and the borders of modern Nigeria were first established. So now, if you look at that particular period, after the Second World War caused for an end to the cruel and exploitative colonial rule of the British Empire swept across Africa after a long struggle towards independence, Nigeria gained independence from the British on October 1st, 1960, which is now celebrated as Independence Day. At first, the country was a parliamentary democracy ruled by Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. It later became a federal republic and adopted a new constitution in 1963 with Nnamdi Azikiwe, former Governor General, becoming the first president of Nigeria. So on a day like this, exactly 62 years ago, Nigeria was on a festive and historic mood. It was 2 days after 1st of October 1960, the day that the United Kingdom has set aside to grant Nigeria independence as a sovereign state. So the political and the social atmosphere was astir. The reasons were not far-fetched, given the dreams of the founding fathers, late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, late Sir Ahmadu Bello, and late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, among others, as well as what the prospect of self-rule portend for the emerging black nation. Although then 3 regions, northern, eastern, and western, had been administered by Nigerians who superintended as premiers for 6 years, Nigerians could not wait to collect the mantle of leadership at the center from the last British Governor General of Nigeria, Sir James Robertson. It was thus not surprising that elaborate preparations were made across the country for the historic occasion. There was joy and anxiety as ululating Nigerians stormed the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos to witness and partake in the celebration of independence of the nation. So in jubilant crowd were students, cultural dancers, acrobats, masquerades, and others who were all eager to add color to the celebration. Policemen, in choreographed manner, fanned out in different but key places across the squares to provide security, with memory etching displays from various groups and fireworks that lit up the sky. It was a wonderful sight to behold. We are better equipped for the tasks ahead, according to Tafawa Balewa. And let me just take you through his speech. He said, in these days of rapid communication, we cannot live in isolation, apart from the rest of the world. Even if we wish to do so, all too soon it has become evident that for us, independence implies a great deal more than self-government. This great country, Nigeria, which has now emerged without bitterness or bloodshed, finds that she must at once be ready to deal with grave international issues. This fact has of recent months been unhappily emphasized by the startling event which have occurred in this continent. He further stated that I shall not belabor the point, but it would be unrealistic not to draw their attention first to the awe-inspiring task confronting us at the very start of our nation. When 1st October 1960 was chosen for our independence, it seemed that we were destined to move with quiet dignity to our place on the world stage. And recent events have changed the scene beyond recognition, so that we find ourselves today being tested to the utmost task. We are called upon immediately to show that our claims to responsible government are well-founded, and having been accepted as an independent state, we must at once play an active part in maintaining this peace of the world and in preserving the civilization. He further noted that he promised Nigerians that we shall not fall for want of determination, and we come to this task better equipped than many. So today we are going to be discussing this with nobody but Mr. Aliyu Abdullahi Karo, who is from Ahmadu Bello University Faculty of Art. He will be joining us virtually to discuss the beauty of celebrating our independence. So let's go on this short break, and when we return, we start up with the conversation.
Please give us the permission to search you. You can go.
Is this a movie? If it happened.
Officer, I beg carry and go station. When our Oga come, you come meet am for there.
Hey, Mr. Man, I cannot do that.
Tell your Oga to come to our station when he returns.
Am I in a movie? If it happen,
Mama, please. Mama, please.
Thank God you're here. Do the needful.
Mama, please, just 3 weeks
Madam,
now.
why did you invite us to come help chase your tenant now?
This is a civil matter now.
Is this a movie? If it happen,
If we follow
The new police law.
Welcome back, and let us go straight to our course of discussion this morning. And good morning, Mr. Aliyu Karo, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Isanu.
Okay, now, Aliyu Karo, let us go straight to the point of discussion. Nigerians celebrated independence, that's on 1st of October, 1960. And when you look at that point, and now definitely you say there have been so many changes. So what are your perspectives with regards to post-colonialism?
Good morning once more to all Nigerians listening to this program. I would like to start by saying that happy independence to each and every one of us in Nigeria and without. The federal government of Nigeria was granted full independence on 1st October 1960 under a constitution that provided for a parliamentary government and a substantial measure of self-government for the country's three regions. The colonial state was all interventionist, repressive, and exploitative. That's what we need to bear in the back of our mind. Although, since independence in 1960, a number of thorny issues remain contestable, such as the ethnic minority questions, inequitable revenue allocation formula, asymmetrical state structure, lack of true federalism, inability to evolve exact census figure, ethno-religious crisis, political corruption, and many more. The political structures, whether deployed positively or negatively, undermine the fact that Nigeria has a rich cultural heritage, values, norms, and ethics, which constitute a shared cultural heritage or socio-cultural heritage handed down generationally and often deployed as guiding ethos and mode of behavior to articulate morality in the society. The symbolic relationship between culture, history, and identity is a striking feature of rich cultural heritage. Similarly, to redefine and mediate on possible interface between colonialism and underdevelopment, an appreciation of which is essential for the economic liberation of Nigeria. The problem of economic exploitation, which undermine economic transformation and development of Nigeria and indeed Africa, is critical. These connections, which continue to affect Nigerians and their perception of themselves as inferior, less productive, and non-proactive to chart a self-reliant development, cause is riddled with convoluted mental relapse fostered by the colonial state within the psychosocial remit of colonial mentality. This has perpetuated individual and institutional dependency, which continues to undermine self-reliant development of Nigeria as post-colonial development strategy have been naive and critical and riddled with fractured Western subjectivism and conditionality. What I am trying to say here is post-colonial narrative structured by a tension between the oppressive memory of the past and the liberatory promise of the future. What the point of emphasis here is hope is what is keeping Nigeria to life. And we do hope that this hope we are having for this country is going to foster and make Nigeria great beyond how we met it.
Okay, you've really painted a very good picture of what the expectation is all about. Capping it all with the issue of hope is what is actually still keeping us together. So now, what are your thoughts on using the present mood, that's the hope you've stated, to address the major socioeconomic situation we find ourselves today?
I didn't get that question clearly, please. Can you please
Okay,
come
I
again?
said you capped your discussion with the issue of hope, which is a phrase that definitely has kept us together as Nigerians. And I'm asking that, what are your thoughts on using this same mood, that's the hope, to address the socio-economic situation we find ourselves today?
Thank you very much. Concerning socio-economical activities in Nigerian context is not easy. It may not look like it ought to be. It may be rough and tough. It can be best described on your weight and status. Every man wishes to be better than yesterday. Nigeria's situation can be best described in the phrase, better all days. What kills a man is aging with nothing to show. It has not been an easy ride, neither where we promise easy ride from our colonial masters. Should we then continue with lamentation? It's never going to be the solution. A journey of land of milk and honey, challenges such as these are inevitable. I don't know whether you are getting this. A journey of a land of milk and honey, challenges such as these are always inevitable. Wherever a man added a year to his year, the most common wishes is long life. It tells you that there are high chances to live better if there is life. A hopeless living man can better describe as lifeless. At 62 and still living and standing is enough reason to celebrate. The America we so wish to be like is now 246 years old from independence. As such, we still have a journey ahead compared to that. We are not there yet, but we will be there. For they say, those that move mountains begins with little stones. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain if we stop seeing this nation as a business of certain people. I so much believe Nigeria will be greater than today. Let me say once more, happy independence to all Nigerians, because I'm proud to be a Nigerian. And I hope that each and every one listening to this program will say that he is proud or she is proud to be a Nigerian in that context.
That's a very good one, because we are all proud. We are all proud Nigerians. And so now, if you listen to this year's independence celebration, it will definitely be the last for Mr. President, as the President, President Muhammadu Buhari. And what can you say in respect to his leadership style, having Nigeria to be at 62, and in his own 7 years of leadership under the civilian rule? What can you tell us if you have also listened to his speech?
Okay, I would like to foremost here, I would like to call on Nigerians again to use the anniversary to reflect on the past achievements of the country, particularly the contributions of the following of our founding fathers for achieving the independence, because the journey was not easy. Coming from colonialism, pre-colonialism to colonialism era and the post-colonialism era, which is not easy for Nigeria as a country. But for President Muhammadu Buhari, I would like to advise in this manner, where he focused much on his campaign promises initially. He do discuss and lay emphasis on three basic things which bedeviled Nigeria for a long period of time. Number one, which is security. Number two, economy. And three, which is corruption. I thought when Buhari emerged in 2015, I thought these are where he's going to focus his power, not going against all this blame game that has been in existence for a very long period of time in Nigeria, this almost 8 years. If I were him, I wouldn't have focused on the past errors. I would have focused much on these three campaign promises. But unfortunately, things happen the way we have never expected to see them. And my advice again here is for public servant or public office holders. They should try as much as possible to place national interest above their personal interest. They should try as much as possible to say that they make things work for Nigeria, so that we have a country we call, this is the only country we have as ours. If you think you can go to UK and claim to be a citizen there, when you go there, issue of racism is awaiting you. So, my advice for all those concerned that they think this country should break or this country should not continue the way it started, my advice for them is they should have a rethink and consider Nigeria as the only country we have. For Buhari, I wish him success, but we have a long way to go concerning this contemporary 21st century, what do you call it, transition. That is 2023 transition is going to be tough for the next person that is coming, because we have a lot of things on ground to settle.
You've raised one issue here, that the 2023 general election will be tough for the next person that is going to come on ground. But then today we are not looking at the political angle, more of a say. But then let me also get your view with regards to why you feel the upcoming election, looking at our stay or being 62, what do you think will be the major challenges as you've raised?
I think based on how I see this political setting, what is going to be of major challenge to Nigeria and Nigerians is this issue of regionalism, sectarianism, bigotry, and nepotism, and many of its kind. Because for a country like Nigeria to survive for this long period of time, this 62 years old, it's not easy. We need to start appreciating what our leaders has done in order to see this country moving. My advice to the political class is to uphold the spirit of issue-based politics in 2023 and beyond. Because considering the nation's democratic system, which has come a long way and is a thing of pride for us as citizens, this is the only era Nigeria has experienced more than 20 years of uninterrupted democracy. We should be thankful to God for that. But for those that are there preaching hatred, that are there trying to divide the country, my advice for them is they should wait. This thing they are preaching is coming back to them directly and indirectly. So if you wish good for your brother, that same thing happened to you. If you wish evil, evil awaits you. So as a citizen, you need to know that whatever you wish your brother, that thing is definitely coming back to you as a citizen of that specific country. Because some people will think that let's divide our rule or divide this country. This division you are creating is coming back to you directly and indirectly, because it's going to harm your people, your family, or your clan, somebody that is from your tribe, or somebody that is from your state is going to be affected directly. If you have conscience, this issue of division should not be a subject of consideration. I think for Nigerians to understand this, they should please understand the power of unity. The reason why we are still breathing and feeling as if we are the best in the world is because we are united. If we divide ourselves as a nation, I don't think we are ready for this country to strive.
Okay, you've raised some issues with regards to the unity and the need for Nigerians to bring themselves together and move forward, and that has what has kept us till this time. Now, let me ask you, because there has been this debate over time that we had the military era and now we are in the Fourth Republic of democracy. So if you look at these two major form of leadership that we've tasted or we are testing, we are 22 years into the Fourth Republic. How can you compare the achievement of the civilian and then the military rule?
Seriously, for me, I see I need to have a balance on how to analyze the two systems of government, that is the military government and that of the democracy. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages. Our major problem with democratic system, Nigerian context, is we abuse the privileges, the powers, and we are never ready to understand the difference between the military rule and that of the democratic rule. Unfortunately, for us Nigerians, that we were craving, praying wholeheartedly to see that we overcome the military system, and still yet some have started dreaming and praying to go back for a military system, which is so unfortunate for Nigeria. But for those that they think they are the major actors in contributing to see the destruction of this country, they will never succeed, God's willing. Because there are some people that are so innocent in this country that are willing to do the needful and do the right thing for the country to prosper and for the country to live for more centuries to come together.
Okay, Ali, we would like you to still hold on because we just half hour into the program, and we will definitely go for a break now, and when we return, we continue with the conversation. So please just stay tuned, and then when we return back, we'll definitely connect with you and we continue with the discussion. While we'll also put up the phone line so that people or those that are listening and those that are watching us this morning on DSTV 392 and other platform can also join the conversation. So let's go on this short break, and when we return, we continue the conversation.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Welcome back from that short break. But then let us quickly put up the phone line so that you can also join us from your own angle. And this morning, we're discussing the issue of independence and how important it is for us as Nigeria to still forge ahead. That's, yes, at the end of the tunnel, there's definitely light. The number to call is 090-5740-8127. I'll take that again, 090-5740-8127. You call, stating your name, your location, and then you go ahead with your submission or question. And let us quickly go back to Mr. Aliu Karu from Kaduna State. Okay, thank you for staying there. And now let us quickly forge ahead. You've raised so many issues, and you've also added your own contribution on how Nigerian is to hold our unity very, very unwavering so that we can move forward as a nation. So now, looking at the present state that we find ourselves, what do you think are the necessary things we still need to put on ground for us to forge ahead as a nation? What are the things you feel Nigerians and even including the leadership now we need to do?
As I earlier said, we need to have this at the back of our mind. That is, we should always place national interest above our personal interest. Why? Because we need to protect our national integrity. We need to protect our national policies. We need to protect our national heritage. We need to also protect our national or foreign policy. How do we do that? We don't just come and wake up one day and think this is going to happen with magic or miraculously. We must do something. We must have something on ground that will back up our argument on how to do it, when to do it, and where to apply. So for us as citizens, we have a vital role to play in managing the issues and affairs of our state, that's our country, Nigeria. Looking at this, when we see what is happening in other states, those that think they don't believe in their country, we see what is happening to them. We do believe in this country, the only country we call ours, we have a lot to do. As a citizen, you have a role to play, so also the government have its own role to play in order to protect our national integrity. What I'm always saying to people around me and people that I can talk to is for them to have this issue of national solidarity. This issue of nationalism is very important in Nigerian context, for us to understand where we came from, where we are, and where we want to be in the future. For this, I think we should all be vigilant. We should all be open-minded. We should be doing things open-mindedly in order to see that we do things that will favor this country directly and indirectly. And our generation unborn are going to come and celebrate us the way we are celebrating our forefathers.
Fortunately for us, you are from the Faculty of Arts, and you know how important art and history is to nation building. And you've also mentioned the word nationalism. But then we have a society where we have over 200 ethnic groups and different languages, people with different attitude towards issues that has to do with nation building. But then, do you think we've really harnessed the beauty of this multicultural society? Have you gotten the question?
I didn't get the last part of the question, please.
Okay, what I said was, do you think we've truly harnessed the beauty of our multiculturalism?
Yes, for me, having multiple languages or tribes or ethnic group, whatever you can say, is a blessing for any country. And any country like Nigeria that many thought that it can never last for a decade, fortunately for us, this is 62 years old. So multiculturalism is what do you call it? Is a blessing for Nigeria and for whoever wants to be part of the movement. So, from, as you earlier mentioned, I'm from Faculty of Art, which we preach much of humanity. Faculty of Art, and we focus much on humanity. People forget about humanities, thinking that they can do without it. He who doesn't know about his history, where he came from, and the means of communication, which is so decayed because of the negligence by some few, is so unfortunate. For us that we are here, I think we are trying to play our role, and we urge all Nigerians to play the same, thinking on having the base from their own side. And for those that are that think this is a one-man business, you are getting it all wrong. It's a collective responsibility that we need to come together as people to do the needful to see how we can change the narrative about our country, about our cultures, about ourselves. What I always tell people is, you are a representative of your family. If you do good, we see you and your family as good people. If you do bad in the society, you are a reflection of that society. You are a reflection of your family. You are just like a mirror. We don't even need to ask where you came from, but your attitude and behaviors will explain the kind of family you came from. If you are a good character, we say he has a very good family background. If you have a bad character, you can name it yourself. You know how to call yourself, but you are a mirror to your own family. You are a mirror to your own religion. If you practice a religion that is telling you that you should be, that is preaching hatred, then you are giving us a direct reflection of that religion, which is contrary to all the religions I ever read about, that no religion preaches hatred. So I think this is just the summary of what I have about this question.
Okay, now for some time now, you've known history has been taken out of the curriculum of primary and secondary education, and But recently, we've seen some governors reintroducing it back to secondary school. How significant is this in the independence that's in our celebration with respect to governors taking it back to the classroom, the study of history?
Well, for history, he who doesn't know history doesn't know where he came from. Even for political analysts, we do say that if we want to analyze any political arena or event or issue, we use history to relate it to the present so that it will give us a chance to predict the future and have a right prediction. So he who doesn't know his history, he has a long way to go. But for those two governors, as the governor of Lagos State, Dason Olu, and that of Kogi State in person of His Excellency Governor Yahya Bello, they have really made a tremendous trial, which is not easy on their own side as the governors. For one to take this bold step to withdraw what somebody thought that is going to be of challenge to his or her own administration. Now they have taken that bold decision to see that they reintroduce it back to secondary school. This how significant this is beyond what mind can ordinarily imagine. But for them, we give them kudos and a very wonderful. We say they see what others don't see. They predicted what others could not predict. They have seen future beyond petty sentiment. They've seen future.
Okay, let's take this caller. Aliu, just hold on. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Let's take this caller. Just hold on.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Please, your name and where you are calling from.
Hello, good morning.
I'm listening clearly. Your name and where you are calling from. Good morning.
Okay, my name is Mr. Friday. I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Friday, for joining our conversation.
John.
Please, you can go ahead with your submission of your question. You can go ahead, please, with your submission or question, please.
So my contribution.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Friday, are you still there? Okay, it seems we lost the call. And the number still to call is 090-5740-8127. I'll take that again, 090-5740-8127. You call making sure that you are far away from a TV or radio set, or you tune down the volume of a TV and radio set so we can hear you clearly, and you go ahead with your submission or your question or your contribution to our discussion. So, Aliu Karo, now one major issue we are having in the 21st century Nigeria, having clocked 62 and moving towards 63, is the issue of how we manage our youthful population. If you look at the demography of our population, you know the youth seem to be more symbolic in that demography. How far and how well do you think the leadership of the country can manage this population? Because it seems certain things are not in place for them, and you can see that at times they do spike above board.
Well, this similar question was posed to Ciceron, if you could remember, when the Greece, when the government was having multiple challenges like the one we are having in Nigerian context. He wrote 3 books to solve this problem. The first book is De Republica, which is Latin. Its English equivalent, it means about the people. The second one is De Legibus, that is about the law, and the third one is De Officiis, that is about work, that is somebody should get something doing. These 3 books led to the creation of this theory called when we have Legibus, Officiis, and the Republica, it gives you the theory of engagement. Now, This is what I expected the current government to do initially, but they couldn't do it. When they came on board, they have all the possibility and capability to enact and impose these three things that will solve Nigeria's problem within the twinkle of an eye. One, you need to study the people. You need to study what they want. You need to study how you can help them with policy making. Then you should enact laws that nobody should be above the law, contrary to what is happening in the Nigerian context. If you are in government, you are above the law. If you are out of the government, the law can work on you. And the third, which is the office, is that everybody should get something to do. You mustn't be that you should be involved or you should get an appointment with a government. No. How do we do that? Is by encouraging, improvising a means of inculcating that culture of responsibility to the young ones so that they can never rely on what the government is doing, or they can never rely 100% on government job. They should start thinking of having other alternatives. And how do they do it? Is by government giving or warranting others to come on board in order to play their own roles in salvaging this country in their own manner. So for you to think of focusing on government to give job for over 200 Nigerians is a joke. You can't manage it. No country can manage that. But for Nigeria, we can do it by encouraging local businesses. And how do we get to them? Not the one they are doing, the so-called, the one that is highly politicized. We want the one that is 100% apolitical. 100% apolitical, that is going to reach the people that are there beyond what an ordinary mind can imagine.
Okay, let me quickly ask you this. If you look at the First Republic and the present Fourth Republic, what do you think distinguishes both republic in terms of administration?
For us to really understand the difference between the First Republic and the Fourth Republic, we need to know that all these republics that we have, they have their own peculiarities. The First Republic was the Republican government of Nigeria between the 1963 to 1966, governed by the First Republican Constitution. The period 1st October 1960, when the country gained her independence, and in 15 January 1966, when the first military coup d'etat, the first military coup d'etat, which happened on the 15th of January 1966, took place, is also generally referred to as the First Republic. The First Republic was ruled by different leaders representing their regions as premiers in a federation during this period. Leaders like Sir Ahmadu Bello, Sardauna of Sokoto, who is the premier of Northern region. We have the Obafemi Awolowo of the Western region from 1959 to 1966. We have Michael Okpara from the Eastern region, Eastern Nigeria, from 1960 to 1966. We have the Samuel Akintola from 1960 to 1966. Also, we have Dennis Osedebe, Midwestern Nigeria from 1964 to 1966. While all this, and remember, the president in charge of then the First Republic was Nnamdi Azikiwe, whom the prime minister usually used to be Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the minister from which they presided from 1963 to 1966. Remember, we have the upper house and the lower house then, which is now equivalent to the legislature, or which is the Senate and the House of Representatives. Now, we need to get three basic things in this First Republic. We should remember that the First Republic is one of the historical era we ever had in Nigerian context, which came as a result of the Cold War, the beginning of the Cold War era. And the constitution adopted was on the 1st October 1963, and the coup d'etat that happened, which is on the 15th January 1966. Now, for us to see the difference or the similarities between the First Republic and the Fourth Republic, we need to know what happened, what really happened in the Second Republic, which is, it was a brief formation of the Nigerian state, which succeeded the military government formed after the overthrow of the First Republic 1979 to 1983. In 1979, Obasanjo handed over a government to President Shehu Shagari, which is one of the major events that happened during the Second Republic. While the Third Republic was in 1993, where the June 12th saga happened, and the Fourth Republic, which is the 1999 to date.
Okay, Ali, sorry, let's take this call, please. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Good morning. Hello.
I think you have to call back.
Yes, my name is
to be on balance, and please call back. The number to call is 090 57408127. However, we are moving closer to the end of the program. But then, Ali, let me quickly allow you to land on that discussion before the caller. Please, you can go ahead, Ali.
Hello, Isanu, I can hear you, please.
Yes, I said let me allow you so that you can move ahead with your earlier discussion. But then let us take this call still. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Definitely, there is always room for you to call in other of our programs. But then, let me allow Aliu Karo to go ahead with his rounding off remarks. So you were on the issue of the First Republic, but then I just want you to quickly conclude that, and then I ask you my last question, which should be how do we rebuild on our lost ground? So, but then, just complete this discussion we were having before the caller called.
Isanu, the network is not clear here. The network is not clear here.
Okay, are you hearing me now? Can you listen to what I'm saying? Okay, it seems Aliu's network is having a problem. But can you listen? Are you getting me clear over there now?
Your voice is cracking anyway, but I can continue if you can hear me.
No, okay, please just give us a rounding remark with regards to how we can rebuild on the lost ground. Seems we are having network issue over there with Aliu Karo, but then I wish he can listen and then give us a closing remark to our discussion. But then we are not getting that right now, and this is how far we can go on the program, the roundtable. He has really thrown more light about our existence as Nigerian, and one major thing he started with today was the issue of hope. Hope is very, very huge. It's a phrase that makes or that keeps us till this moment, and anything we are doing, we should always identify ourselves first as Nigerian. Being 62 is not a day job. So many people have worked for it, so many people have labored for it, and then we can't disintegrate Nigeria at this stage. We are moving towards the election period, and it is expected that all political candidates, all political parties candidates must take that responsibility of making sure that, yes, Nigeria remain one, irrespective of our divides. We must forge ahead. My name is Isanu. Thank you for joining us on the roundtable today, and we hope to have another discussion tomorrow.